Welcome back, chapter 26. I was at Nordstrom Rack in the dressing room trying on the first of 6 one-piece bathing suits when the hope of finding 2 or 3 that might not make me look like a bear, even though I had no intentions of getting in the pool. I was pairing them with solid color wraps when I felt my phone shiver in my purse. I pulled it out and couldn't believe it when I saw a text from Jalecia Drummond. And underneath it, the first line said, "Hi, Mom, please check your email." As I opened it, my heart was pounding so hard I had to press my palm against it. I sat down on the bench in the bathing suit, took a deep breath, and read the first line twice. "Hi, Mom. I just want you to know this is one of the smartest things I've ever done in my life. I am learning so much about myself, about depression and coping techniques. They even have a music class, and I've been singing and playing the piano even though I can't sing anymore. Anyway, I'm also sending you this email to let you know I have decided to do another 28-day session because I am sure by then I'll be ready to greet the world with a whole new set of skills. I love you, and we'll see you in a month. Love, Jalecia. P.S. If I had known these kinds of places existed, I would have done this years ago. I hope you are taking your diabetes medicine and exercising, which we do a lot of here. Tell BB King and all of my aunties I said hi. I already reached out to Cinnamon and can't wait to see my grandbabies. I feel so lucky, and for the first time in years, I'm happy to be alive. Love you, Jalecia." Oh, that is so sweet. I grabbed a wrap, tied it around me, and ran as fast as I could to the ladies' room where I opened the stall and sat down on the toilet and dropped my head into both palms and started crying like a baby until someone said, "Are you all right in there?" I pulled off too much toilet paper and wiped my eyes and said, "Yes, I'm fine. These are tears of joy, and thank you very much for asking." She tapped on the door 3 more times as if to say, "Right on." I went back to the dressing room and was shocked that everything was just where I left it, including my purse. I bought 3 bathing suits and 2 cover-ups and thought I looked good in them. In fact, it felt like I lost 10 pounds, probably because I had. Okay, Laretha. "What did you buy from my favorite store?" I heard my sister's voice say from behind me. I was tossing my shopping bags on the back seat. She looked pretty and sounded perky for a change. "Hi, Odessa," I said, "bathing suits." "Really? For your pool?" "No, I'm going on a cruise." "Where to?" "Mexico." She laughed. "Have you ever been on a cruise?" "Of course not, Laretha." "Would you like to go on one?" "You're not actually asking me, are you?" "Yes," I heard myself say. "Are you serious?" "Yes." "How many days?" 3. "When?" 4 days from now. "Really? How much will it cost?" "It's free, except for drinks." "You know I don't drink." "Nobody would be forcing you to." She waved her palm forward and then downward. "Well, I might have a glass of wine." I thought I was going to pass out on the spot on the hot asphalt. "Well, a little wine never hurt." "Will I have my own cabin?" "No, you'll have to share it with me." "Are you serious, Laretha?" "Yes." "We haven't slept in the same room since we were 10. 11, I said. "What made you ask me?" "Because you're my sister. Isn't that a good enough reason?" "But you don't like me." "I love you. Liking you is difficult." If I wasn't mistaken, it looked like her eyes were tearing up. I couldn't believe I had just asked my sister to go on a cruise with me. I hadn't really thought who I would invite because I've been so busy with Kwame's mother, the new shop, exercising, reading about diabetes, and learning how to cook and eat. So running into my sister in the parking lot of one of her favorite stores was a happy coincidence. In light of everything that happened this year, It's about time Odessa and I start treating each other like sisters instead of adversaries. It felt like this was probably the reason Poochie had given me my extra ticket. So, do you want to come or not? Was I your last choice? Come on, Odessa. No, you're the only one I've asked. We need to stop this thing between us. Can we please? She looked down at the asphalt and then back at me. I've forgotten how to be nice, Laretha. Well, it's not hard. So is that a yes? And all of your girlfriends are going to be on it too? Yes, including Poochie. But I thought she passed away. She did. But what's left of her is coming, and we're going to officially say goodbye to her. She brought my extra ticket, and I believe she'd be happy knowing I was bringing you. And then Odessa hugged me. I couldn't remember the last time I wanted to hug her until now, so I did. Hold on. We had agreed to meet at the cruise ship, which looked like the Titanic to me, but it appeared that I was the first one to arrive. After waiting 20 minutes, I decided to go on through security, and as soon as I walked out to what was the main deck, there was a band greeting me and about 40 other folks. When I heard my name being yelled out, I saw these wild boards waving at me like they were on a float in a parade, including Odessa. I waved back and made my way through the crowd to greet them. You're late, Sadie said. She was standing next to a tall blonde woman who was nothing to write home about. But Sadie sure did look happy. The woman had her long arms around Sadie's shoulder and walked over to me, shook my hand too hard and said, Hi, I'm Callie. So nice to finally meet you. Nice to meet you too, Callie. Welcome to the family. Joe walked over and gave me a kiss on the cheek and a thumbs up, and Lucky smacked him upside his head, just like old times. There was even less of her than last time I saw her, and she was starting to look younger. Corinthia then walked towards me holding a man's hand. I knew who this was. Well, Henry, please meet my other BFF, Laretha. This is Henry. Hello, I heard a lot about you. Corinthia was right. Henry was handsome, and those lips were luscious. Excuse me. His cheekbones looked chiseled, and he was tall, even though he was a few inches shorter than Co. He looked like he spent quite a bit of time in the gym, too. His hair was the prettiest silver I'd seen a man since Carl. Stop flirting, Co said to me, with a deep, yes, I'm in love smile. She looked like she was in love, and she was dressed like it in a long, flowing floral skirt and sleeveless orange top with a sash that wrapped around her small waist about 10 times. I didn't know falling in love was even possible at our age, but between Co's glow and the look on Sadie's face and the way Lucky was flirting with her husband like this was their restart, I guess it was. I was happy for everybody, and with Odessa here, I was just glad to finally feel some love from my sister. Okay, Corinthia said. Well, since we're all here now, Henry has an announcement. Take it away, Henry. Henry rubbed his chin. Well, when we stopped in Sedina tomorrow, Corinthia and I would really love it if you would all join us for our wedding. It will only take 15 minutes to make our love official, which will give you plenty of time to buy us expensive wedding gifts ashore before our big dinner. Will that work for everybody? My mouth dropped open, but I felt my fists fly up in the air along with applause. Okay, Corinthia said. Now, how about we all get checked into our staterooms and make our reservations for our spa treatments, and then us ladies will put on our string bikini and meet up by the pool in a couple of hours? It doesn't take 2 hours to do any of that stuff, so what are you and Henry going to find to do in your stateroom? Act stately. She laughed. We all laughed, including Odessa, who looked so pretty, soft, like a tall black angel in all white. And I was surprised when she walked over and hugged me and then whispered in my ear, Thank you for inviting me. I'm already having fun. I've forgotten what it felt like. Well, I hope you get used to it. We took the glass elevator up to the 11th floor, which was where all of our rooms were. I couldn't look down, so I looked at the carpet until the gold doors opened like we were royalty or something. Sadie, who was pulling a carry-on, patted in tenderly and then smiled at me. We had all been grateful when she had volunteered to keep Poochie's ashes. She had even told us how she talked to Poochie every day, but none of us wanted to hear what she said. We had also decided we would say goodbye to Poochie on our last night after dinner. I was not looking forward to it. Our room, or stateroom, as it is officially called, was beautiful. It was almost as big and as nice as the resort room Carl and I stayed at in Palm Springs, except the Pacific Ocean was outside this window and below the long balcony. Lord have mercy, Odessa said when she stood there looking at the 2 queen-size beds with swans made out of soft white towels perched in front of the pillows. Which bed do you want, Laretha? If I'm not mistaken, I think they're exactly the same. But you should pick the one you want. I don't care, Odessa. Fall down on whichever one you want. And she did, on her back. And she spread her white wings like the swan across the long blue pillowcases. The sheets were so white they looked light blue. We had a honey-colored leather sofa, a round table in front of it, and an orange leather curved chair. I suppose this was for company. Nice artwork, and through the sliding glass door, the Pacific Ocean was out there waiting for Poochie. This was nothing like the souped-up motel room I had when Poochie first started this tradition. This was a stateroom, all right. Carl would have loved this. I fell down on my bed after I made sure the shower was big enough for us to turn around in, and I pulled the blue throw across my chest and arms and closed my eyes. This was a good idea, Odessa said. I mean, that your friend Poochie set this up for all of her friends to do. It sure was. Are you all going to stop this tradition now that she's gone? I don't know. I think you should keep doing it and maybe consider adding some new friends or sisters or daughters. You know what I mean. I do. And I think you might be onto something. I'm sorry, she said. What are you sorry about, Odessa? For not being a good Christian and not being a good sister? Well, I'm sorry for holding you hostage, for wanting you to be more like me. Or I should say, wanting you to like me. I didn't know what I did that made it so hard. You were happy and I wasn't. You had a husband who loved you and I didn't. You had a child and I didn't. You had a college degree and I didn't. And you were very successful and I wasn't. You were successful too. The problem was comparing our success. I'm starting to admit a lot of things to myself. Do you still go to church? Not like I used to. And why not? Because I was losing a lot of faith in God. He's not a magician, Odessa. I know, but I thought he was. And he doesn't judge. We do. I sat up. She was crying. I don't know what would make you feel all of this, Odessa. It's because I have not been happy with the choices I've made or haven't made in my life. And if you want to know the truth, I've also been lonely. That makes 2 of us, but I'm trying to learn how to live forward instead of backwards. How is it going? It's going slow, but I'm taking 1 step at a time. I want to be a better sister, she said. Then let's both start now, I said. I think we already have. I do love you, Odessa, and I love you too, Laretha. And then we were quiet. You should give Mom's house to Cinnamon and Jonas because they need it more than me. I actually do like my apartment and there's plenty of room for 1 person. I heard her exhale. I'm so glad to hear this, Odessa, and they will be too. Then I started laughing. What's so funny? She asked. Lord, if Ma could see us or be a fly on the wall, she would love this. Then let's pretend. Hi, Ma. Hi, Ma. and we got up and hugged each other, then fell back on our beds, and we both fell asleep until we heard a knock on the door that our baggage had arrived. But we knew we had already emptied ours. I heard a banging on the door and jumped up. "Who is it?" "It's us, Corinthia and Henry." I ran to the door and opened it. "Is something wrong?" We changed our minds. "No, please don't tell me the wedding is off, you guys." They both smiled. "No, this is a done deal," she said, pointing to Henry's chest. "We decided we don't want to get married in Ensadina today. We can get hitched right here on the ship anytime. I've been to Ensadina and so has Henry, and we'd rather spend the day out on the deck and then go to the club tonight and do a little dancing to celebrate and then sleep in. Are you too good with that?" I turned to look at Odessa. "If you still want to go to Ensadina, I could. You can." "I didn't come here to be on dry land. I like this ship. And I want to dance," I heard myself say. "Then we shall dance the night away tonight, and tomorrow we can sleep in, have our treatments, go to a show, and gamble. Then our last evening, well, you know," and we did. I had a hot stone massage. I asked Odessa to join me, but she didn't want a stranger to touch her body. I took the stairs instead of the elevator for 6 of the 11 floors. I went to a body sculpt class with Corinthia, and I almost had to crawl out. I walked around the jogging track with Sadie and Callie for 2 miles, which was 16 times around, while Cohen and Henry jogged for 4 miles. Lucky and Joe kicked their feet in the water. It all worked out. We went to a disco and were surprised we weren't the oldest ones in there. Some guys even told me my silver hair looked beautiful under the light, and so did I. We all learned how to twerk, except Odessa and Sadie. We all had too much to drink, except Odessa and Sadie. And what really shocked me was how good the entertainment was. The group was under 40 and sang songs I knew the words to. I really enjoyed twerking and suggested that Corinthia add these moves to her hip-hop class. She agreed. And who was it that hit the jackpot on the $1 slot after betting 5? Laretha Curry. That would be me. I intended to spend, give, or use every dime of this extra $3,790 on my daughter, my mother, Carolyn, Kwame, and my great-grandbabies. Odessa told me to take hers off the list because I hadn't done enough for her. At breakfast, I did not put any sugar in my coffee, but I did put in cream. I was starting to get used to it. And instead of eating French toast or pancakes topped with banana and hot syrup, or waffles with hot syrup, or eggs and bacon with hash browns, and toast with butter and jelly, I had plain yogurt with berries and a whole wheat toast. It was delicious. For lunch, I had a salad with 1,000 different vegetables and cooked prawns, and then chunks of chicken and oil and vinegar dressing. I did eat a breadstick though. For dinner, I had baked chicken, brown rice, a salad, steamed vegetables. I passed on the sourdough bread and butter. I did not give dessert any consideration at all. I went down that plexiglass pool slide once I realized I wouldn't get stuck in it. I sat in the pool. I did not hide my hips under a cover-up. I sat there watching everybody doing laps and decided I might take some damn swimming lessons since I have a damn pool in my backyard. Was 69 too late to learn how to do something new? As we played miniature golf, I pulled Corinthia aside and said, "And you're sure about getting married, Co?" And she said, "Yes, I'm doing it, Laretha." Please don't ask me again about what if it doesn't work out. It will. If it doesn't, fuck it. I tried something new. As Corinthia and Henry said I do in a small chapel, and we were all dudded up while Corinthia and Henry wore their exercise clothes, I was just thrilled for them. It almost made me wonder if I might ever be kissed again. But what was really weird was that I was even asking myself this question. On the last evening, the 4 of us gathered on the top deck, Sadie had her bag with her. The moon was out and there was no breeze, even though a staff person had given us a pencil and a piece of string to tie around it so we could see which way the wind was blowing. Poochie planned this, I heard myself say. And when that string moved, instead of feeling scared, we all seemed calmer. Sadie carefully unzipped her bag and pulled out another black nylon zip bag. She set it slowly on the deck floor and unzipped it. We watched as she pulled out the silver urn and held it in her hand. We all touched it gently with our fingertips. So, Sadie said, Laretha, go ahead. You said you would say goodbye for all of us. And remember, she said she didn't want us to be mushy or sentimental or sad. This was supposed to celebrate her life, Lucky said. Well, would you like to speak? I asked. No, because I can't. Then be quiet, Sadie said. Do you hear those bitches, Poochie? Co asked. Nothing has changed except you're not here to put them in their places. And then I said, okay, everybody, please shut up. And the breeze stopped. Poochie, we just want you to know how much we loved you and how glad we are that you were our friend and our sister. We know you miss us as much as we miss you, but one day we hope to see you again. And don't you owe me $5? Everybody looked at me and then the urn and then started laughing. Yeah, and I think you borrowed a book from me too. And one day I hope to get it back, Sadie said. You don't owe us anything, I said, but we promise if you can see or hear us that we will make you proud with what we do and how we spend the rest of our lives. Then there was silence. And Sadie walked over to the edge of the railing, opened the top, and then turned the urn upside down until it was empty, which was when we felt another breeze. Okay, that's the end of chapter 26. First off, it wasn't the minister's wife. Okay, so it was a totally different person. Cole got married. Okay, Cole. And Jaleesa is doing better. She said 28 days. I could have sworn a lot of months had passed, but we ain't gonna talk about it. She said she's going to be doing some more days in the thing because she's learning a lot. And I can't wait to see for her and her mother to get together, because if Odessa and her mom could, get together and talk it out and understand each other better, then her and her daughter can. And I realize a lot of miscommunication, a lot of distance or things with families and stuff like that is a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding of people, each other thinking they know each other's lives and they don't. But for them to come together and understand that is kudos. I wish there was a lot more understanding like that in families. But that's the end of this chapter. I shall see you in the next chapter. Bye for now.